Hello, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. This is The Turning Point. I hope you guys are all having a good evening, and thank you for coming here tonight. Just to get the show started, I'm going to welcome Erin. She is a part of the producing team here on The Turning Point, and I'd love for you guys all to meet her. So as I bring her on, please type in the comment section saying, "Hey, Erin." She's been a tremendous help on the show. Here she is.
Hey, everybody. I can feel the love and the positive energy and vibes already. Can't believe that it's New Year's Eve. Oddly enough, this morning, like many of us maybe, I was thinking, oh, another year gone, another resolution. And then I looked at my email and I saw the headline to Doug's and resolutions are bullshit. And I was like, yep, this is why I need to come here tonight. So I'm really curious to talk to other people and hear other people's stories about the resolutions we all try to keep, if there's some similarities. And I'm curious to see what Doug has to say about them too, because, Doug always had advice, and I'm excited for it. I really am.
Yeah. And on this topic, I would love to hear everyone's thoughts around why Doug thinks resolutions are shit, because I was asking him this question earlier and I was trying to see what he was thinking on what he's going to say. Smart. But I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts first. I would love to hear everyone's, why do you think they are? Just to hear people's opinions. I
mean, digging into Doug Dane's mind is very difficult. That's why we have him. But you're right. It's kind of a little precursor. It's nice to sort of think, what's he going to talk about? And what do I think? I've got this and I know how to do resolutions. And I have a feeling that I'm going to learn a lot tonight. That's for sure. So I hope everybody else is going to too. I think it's going to be very enlightening.
Yeah. And really quickly before I introduce Doug, I would just like to say Happy New Year. I see all the chat. Happy New Year, everybody. It's really nice.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Cool. All right. So let's get right into the show. Thank you very much, Erin. Okay.
Awesome.
See you. Okay. Thank you for all the warm welcoming in the chat. That's amazing to see. But let me introduce Doug. So we know that you guys want to be your best self. In order to do that, you need a clear direction that works. The problem is you guys haven't found the right answers, which can make you feel frustrated and stuck. Doug believes it shouldn't be so hard to get the answers you want, and becoming successful shouldn't be so difficult. He understands how you feel, and he's been there. Doug struggled for so long with uncertainty, looking for advice and answers so he could do better as well. Doug's life started with abuse and has turned into an abundance. Now he's on a mission to show others how they can do the same. Life's too short to keep second guessing and screwing around. Doug's got the answers. He's been through it all, and he's been mentoring people for 30 years, which is why he knows how to get you unstuck. Discovering your turning point tonight so that you could feel more confident. When you feel better, you do better. Doug's story and experiences cover a lot of ground. He's made it on his mission to figure out how to break free from the emotional prison he was in so he can guide others to do the same. Life shouldn't be a struggle. There's a better way. This could be your turning point. And here is Doug.
Tyson, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Happy New Year's Eve.
Same to you. It's fun. I had a big grin on my face seeing you and Erin talking behind my back, literally. But it's kind of cool. It's in the green room. Here I'm in the green room. I was texting a friend earlier, and I just sent her a picture of my studio here, which is my living room. And I said, I got the studio, and I did a little video around my room, and I said, I got my green M&Ms here beside me because I'm a bit of a star, so I'm kind of fussy. I want the green M&Ms in the green room, Anyway, it's funny to be behind the scenes and listen to you guys talk. You did a fantastic job, by the way, and I'm really grateful that Tyson and Erin are here with me because it really brings a great energy to the night of the show. Mm-hmm. So let's get it going. First of all, let me just explain to you how you guys can interact on here. So, of course, obviously, just type into the comments if you're watching on Facebook, whether you're on my Facebook page or profile or in Doug Dane Live, or whether you're watching on YouTube, just type in the comments. And I can see the comments coming across the screen. So feel free to say hello, say Happy New Year, tell me where you're from, ask your questions, engage any way that you like. Hey, Tara, there you are. See, I can see it. It's cool. Just type in your questions, type in your comments, whatever you want to throw in there to help us help you and help others. Okay. Obviously, if you want, you can come on the show around 8:15, 8:20. we're going to drop a link into the green room. And so we do have a guest tonight. That's another way you can get on the show is you can go to my website and you can fill in a form there to submit your question or whatever help you want to get on the show. So we got Laura coming on around 8:20, and we'll also drop the link to the green room so others can hop on and get some help as well. So I encourage you to do that. I think it's a lot more, it's better for you if somebody comes on live and talks. Like last week we had Kat on the call, which was just great. I watched it over a bunch of times. I just loved her. I don't know if she's on tonight. Kat, if you're here, say I'm here. It'd be nice to see if you're here again tonight and see how you're doing a week later. Anyway, if you want to get on the show, then by all means, just hop into the green room, and Erin will take care of you, and we'll get you on here if we can. All right. So just let me tell you quickly again why I'm doing this show. As Tyson mentioned, I've struggled a lot in my life, and I've been through a lot. Like I've been through a lot of experiences. I haven't really met anybody yet that hasn't been through something I haven't been through. I've been through pretty much everything, and people always ask me. They go like, "How did you do it?" And I didn't really have an answer at first, but I think if you ask me now, I think that the answer would be that there was an authentic me in me, and I got brought in this world. I got dropped into a place, an environment, a home where I didn't really belong, and there was a spirit in me, like there's a spirit in you. We have a soul. We are a soul, and we have a spirit in us, and that's what keeps us going. That's what keeps us striving and overcoming obstacles and challenge and just pressing and moving forward. But I think also I had a built-in desire to figure out things. So I was very analytical, and I was always trying to figure stuff out. And so one of the things I wanted to figure out was what the hell was going on? Why was this happening to me? And what was causing the things that were going on around me? So I think I was always very, very curious when I was little. In fact, I know I was. And I think that's really what got me motivated, just to keep on pressing forward through all the dread and all the grim and all the crap, you know. So I wanted to do this show because I thought, here's a way that I could reach you, and I could cause a turning point in your life very, very quickly. So through study, through research, through practice, through experience with working with hundreds and hundreds of people over the last 30 years, both in business and personal, I developed a skill to be able to get to what's going on very, very quickly and be able to see maybe what you can't see, or spot a different viewpoint and get you to look that way, which would cause a turning point, which could really cause a dramatic shift in your immediate situation, ultimately your long-term results. I wanted to create a show where I could do laser rapid fire coaching on the spot with you, whether it's answering your questions. If you type in a question tonight, we get to your question, whether you come on live like Laura's going to, or like Kat did last week. Basically, I want to help you like right now, tonight, to make a move, to make a change, and to get you moving, especially at this time of year. So tonight's show is called "Resolutions Are Bullshit." And everybody's asked me, what are you going to be talking about tonight? First off, I do want to say Happy New Year's. There's a lot of things about New Year's Eve I don't believe in, but I definitely still believe in champagne. So cheers to you. I was thinking about when I was young, New Year's Eve, 17 years old, Graham Ward's house party. And there was, it was a big party, busy party. And at that time of my life, I was really trying to fit in. I was trying to be liked. I was trying to be funny. I was trying to be cool. I was trying to pretend like I got it all together, you know. I was trying to get the girls to like me. I was trying to get the guys to like me. And I was very, very self-conscious and very, very insecure. And so it's, you know, approaching midnight, and that time is coming. And I'm there by myself. I'm with my friends, but I don't have a girlfriend. And the time is coming where the countdown's going to come, and people, of course, they buzz around the party, hugging and kissing and doing all the stuff. And I was just dreading that moment. And I knew it was coming. And the closer it got to New Year's, the more nervous I became. My palms sweated more. My underarms were sweating. I mean, I was just very, very uncomfortable. And so I waited for the countdown. And then right around 3, 2, 1, I entered the bathroom. And I locked myself in there until it was all over, just pretending I had to go to the bathroom. That's how uncomfortable I was. And so this idea that resolutions are bullshit is because I'm watching what's going on online right now, for example. Of course, if you scroll through Facebook or social media, everybody's talking about, Happy New Year's and, New Year's resolutions. And 2020 was a tough year, and 2021 is going to be this is going to be the year, And the reason resolutions are bullshit, there's a number of reasons. First off, the idea of setting resolutions at this time of year is a habit. Okay, you can set resolutions any time of year, but one of the habits that has been formed and that we adopted when we were little, Eden, my daughter, I dropped her off at her mom's tonight for New Year's Eve. She was here, but she's there tonight for New Year's Eve. Every time around this year, people start reflecting on the previous year and the upcoming year, and they become hopeful, and they become excited and energetic and enthusiastic and motivated, inspired, and this is it. Like, this is the year they're going to do it. And so this is a habit as well. And so I figure, why the hell would you wait till New Year's Eve to set resolutions? And so I think every day is New Year's Eve. Every day is New Year's Eve, because every day is a new day. And New Year's Eve just happens to be a time and a date on a calendar that didn't really exist originally, but was created to give us some order and structure in this universe. So the idea that we do this on New Year's Eve just seems really silly to me. So I decided years ago that I was going to change my paradigm around New Year's Eve. I'm not a big fan of the whole New Year's Eve concept. I'm not a big fan of New Year's Eve celebrations. I probably have my own paradigm from when I was young, because I didn't really like it. But now I do like New Year's Eve. Like I like all kinds of Eves, and I do what I want to do the way that I want to do it. And so I think the idea of forming habits once a year is a dumb idea. If you're setting resolutions because you think you should, or you need to, that's bullshit too, okay? The reason it's bullshit is because setting those kinds of resolutions, trying to form those kinds of habits on what you should do, or what you shouldn't do, or what you need to, that's not going to inspire you or motivate you. One of the primary reasons why habit forming fails, resolutions don't stick, is because people don't really understand how to set them properly, and don't understand that the idea of habit forming has to come from your heart. It has to come from a want or from a desire. It can't come from a need, and it can't come from a should. Okay? You were should on enough when you were little, and you should on yourself enough as it is. So shoulding on yourself is not going to inspire you or motivate you to stick to the resolution. You want to stick to wants, not needs, because the doing part of you, okay? The doing part of you resides at an emotional, subconscious level. That's the doing part of you. All right. If you're just operating purely from willpower, you're going to run out of steam. All right. So that's not going to work. When you were little and you were given New Year's resolutions, well, you were given resolutions all the time. You were constantly told what you should and what you shouldn't do. If you do this, you'll get rewarded. And if you do that, you'll get punished. And so when the adults were trying to program us and try to get us to form these habits that they believe were right, and doesn't mean they were right. Those were just habits that were made up by other people that they adopted. And so you were told you should do this, you shouldn't do that. This is good, this is bad. And so we have a real negative attitude towards habit forming. When we didn't form habits, we didn't get rewarded and praised. We got criticized, we got punished. we got judged. Our parents gave us a hard time. They sent us to our room. You know, they could have just said one thing that like just cut us down for a long, long time. I've met people that their parents said and did things to them, and it's held them back their entire life. So this idea of, you know, forming habits and resolutions, if they're should-based or need-based, they're not going to stick, okay? And if you're in the habit of criticizing yourself and judging yourself and punishing yourself when you don't form the habit, oh shit, I said I wasn't going to do that, and I did. I can't believe I did that. And so just, I want you to think of the negative chatter, the negative conversations, the negative things you say to yourself about yourself when you're trying to keep these resolutions. It's funny, I go to the gym, not right now, but every year around January, early on, you know, early in the morning, early on January, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, there's a bunch of rats, and they're on the treadmill, and they're running, and they're running, and they're running. And then, you know what? The treadmill gets emptier and emptier, and the gym gets emptier and emptier. And that's why it doesn't work. And so the way you were taught to set habits and resolutions and form habits, that was bullshit too. The way you were taught to do it, that was bullshit. Your parents probably didn't have a freaking clue what they were doing, you know? We're going to have a show on parents in a couple of weeks. And the people that were teaching you, and I'm not criticizing anybody here, but the people that were teaching you how to form habits or teaching the habits they wanted you to form, they were hypocrites. It's do as I say, not as I do. And so when you're young, you may not have known it, but when you were young, you're kind of going, I don't know, mom's not really on the right track. Or dad doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Now, you didn't have a lot of power to speak up. And when you did, you probably got punished and criticized again. So, you know, after a while, you probably gave up on yourself and you kind of succumbed to just kind of going along with what was right or wrong, and, you know, doing what was good and trying to avoid what was bad. So you weren't judged, criticized, or hurt. So again, just remember, it's nobody's fault. You just learned all this stuff and learned how to do it, or learned how not to do it. And because we're habitual, we are habitual as human beings. We're very habitual. We're habitual in our thinking. We're habitual in the emotions that we run through our minds. We're habitual in playing back things that have happened in the past, especially negative things. We're habitual in our physical action. You know, you probably brush your teeth the same way every morning at the same time. You probably have a morning routine when you get up. You probably have a bedtime routine. We're very habit oriented. And so what you're going to have to do, because you are habit oriented, is you're going to have to learn how to form habits the right way. And that's one of the things that we teach, or I teach my clients how to do. I had a call, we'll wrap up here real quick here, Tyson, but I had a call with a friend of mine, and I've known her, I don't know her really well. I probably wouldn't even call her a friend. I would call her an acquaintance. I don't really know her all that well, but I did help her early on about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And every once in a while, she would pop up and she'd reach out by text for some help. And finally, we had a call the other day. And you know, she told me where she was at and the challenge she was facing, the changes that she'd like to make. And she just, she was stuck like I'm talking about. She just couldn't seem to make this stick and do the things that she knows. And she said, I know I should be doing this. I know I shouldn't be doing that. I know I could be, if I was doing this, I know that I said, you are suffering from the classic, what we call the knowing, doing gap. And so it's not the knowing part you have to work on, it's the doing part. And you have to understand how to program your mind. And your mind is a machine. It's an automatic goal-seeking mechanism. And if you program it the right way, there's a few steps you have to do in order to program your mind in order for these habits to stick. And so that's what I want to talk to you guys about tonight. So maybe, you know, you might have some questions about that process. You might like to maybe talk about a habit that you're trying to form, or maybe a challenge that you're facing, something you'd like to get unstuck from. Tyson, again, he's going to drop the link to the green room, and you can hop on, and Erin will just chit chat with you there. And we'll try to get you on the show. But I think we're going to bring Laura on next. Is that right, Tyson? Is she with us?
She's not in the green room right now. If she is in the chat, would she be able to click on the link right now and we can get her on?
Yeah. I can't hear him. Can you guys hear him?
Can you hear me?
Tyson, that might be me. 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. Erin's giving me the thumbs up that she can hear me. But Laura,
shouldn't be me. I heard you fine before.
Oh, okay.
Let me check my audio. Sorry about that.
Hey, no worries.
No, mine's fine, Tyson. I can't hear you. Can we bring Erin on, see if she's working?
Yeah. Hey, Erin.
Erin?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
I can hear Erin, but I can't.
I can hear me echo in your house. That's actually a little creepy.
People in the chat.
All right, we got Tyson back.
Oh,
go ahead, Tyson.
Yeah, they're saying in the chat they can hear me. So can you hear me now?
I got you now.
Okay,
perfect.
Awesome. Laura, yes, I see you in the chat. Awesome. I'm just gonna send a link into the chat right now, and you can hop on. Okay. And it should just be right there. Can you see it?
So while we're waiting, is there any questions going through the chat we want to address? Anybody have any questions about my idea that resolutions are bullshit? Anybody want to challenge me on that?
It seems like when I was scanning through, everyone's been totally agreeing. It's completely resonating. But I'd love to see if anyone else has an opinion around it. But
well, listen, it's easy to agree. People aren't agreeing with me because I'm right. People are agreeing with it because it's right. And we always, when it resonates with you, it's because it's true, and it's true because it's right. Now, just because you agree with me, that's not going to help you form habits. You really got to go at the root cause of your habitual behavior, and not. Here's a big mistake people make: is they'll make a laundry list of negative habits they want to eliminate. Okay. Nature abhors a vacuum. What does that mean? Is that if you make space for something, if you remove something, then nature wants to fill up that space. So if let's say I'm going to bed too late every night, and I say, that's it. I'm not staying up late anymore. I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock every night. That's it. I'm done staying up late. If that's the negative habit. But if I don't replace that habit with a positive habit, another negative habit will take its place. So if I say, that's it. I'm not eating snacks at 10 o'clock at night, watching Netflix or something like that. I'm going to eat healthy, and I'm not going to eat anything past dinner time. That's it, no matter what. Well, so I'll stop eating the snacks, but then I'll replace it with something else. Or people go, that's it. I'm done drinking wine. And then they replace it with Coke. I mean, you have to replace a habit with a habit. So if you want to eliminate a negative habit, you got to put a positive habit in its place. Otherwise, nature will fill up that space with another negative. That's really important. So,
yeah. And actually, Laura is here now. So do you want me to bring her on now?
Bring her on.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Hello. Hey, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Okay.
Hi.
How are you? Where do you live, Laura?
I live in San Jose.
San Jose, California.
Echoes. Can you guys hear me clearly?
I can. Maybe let me turn my volume down a bit here.
I'm
Might be a little
wonderful.
loud.
Yeah, something might. Do you have the live
San
stream
Jose,
up?
California.
Okay. What's that, Tyson?
If you have the live stream open as well, you might be able to hear yourself twice. So if you just close the Facebook or YouTube video that you're on and just stay into StreamYard, you should be okay.
Yeah, Laura. So if you're playing the stream on one app and you're in here with us, then you might get an echo on your side. Okay, we got you. Laura, we're experiencing technical difficulties. Tyson or Erin will get Laura figured out there. Well, let me kind of set this segment up if I can. Hopefully we get Laura back. Laura wrote in on my website again. You can go to dougdane.com and there's a link called The Turning Point where you can send in a question or if you want to, whatever help that you want. And so I think this probably came out of something I was talking about last week. She was facing some challenges with her 24-year-old son, and she's looking for some suggestions on how to deal with some of the challenges that she feels he's facing. So let's see if we can get her back on here. And we got her, Tyson?
No, not yet. I could come up with a quick question.
Tyson, you're having audio problems, buddy, because I can't hear you again.
Oh, Erin says they can hear me.
No.
Okay. Maybe I'll just bring on Erin. Erin, do you want to come?
I am.
Okay. Hey, Erin.
No.
Hey, bringing me on for some comic
No,
relief.
Erin's
I don't
quiet
know.
too.
You can't hear me?
What's going on tonight? This is bizarre.
I'm pretty sure Tyson can hear me, right? We'll
Yeah, I
have
can
another
hear you.
chat again, but not behind Doug's back, in front of. No, I'm
In
kidding.
front of them.
I've been watching the comments go through, and this is going to sound redundant, but I agree that everyone else
I'm not sure
agrees.
what's going on there, guys?
You
I
know?
can't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
You can hear me, but I can't hear you. Well,
he's figuring it out.
let's.
I
just see what
often find
computer
myself
did.
saying almost with everything Doug says, I agree,
Okay.
but why I can't put it into practice, it's hard. It's difficult to do and just sort of choose something and do it. I think we all kind of struggle with that. So it's
All right,
kind of
well.
nice to know I'm not alone. And the advice that we're getting here is really, really helpful. Actually, one of the questions that I kind of had, Doug, can you hear me now?
Yeah, good. My TV sound wasn't working properly.
Yeah.
I'm back to the
So
computer.
one of the questions I actually had for you is a lot of people have been commenting on how they either make small daily goals or some weekly goals or a yearly goal. And I guess my kind of question is, do you have a suggestion in terms of not only the frequency, but I can't think of the right word, the largeness, apologies, the grandeur of it all, I guess, what
Yeah.
size the goal or timing. I'm just curious your thoughts on goals and
Well,
setting them.
All right, so let's segregate goals from habits, though,
Oh,
or goals from resolutions. If you look up the word resolution, it just simply means a decision to do something. So goals are basically targets that we're trying to hit along the way to get to where we want to go. So we have a destination, and we want to get to that destination. So let's say, for example, when Eden was a baby, we drove out to the east coast of Canada, Prince Edward Island. It was a 3-day drive. We drove 8 hours a day. So our first goal was to get to Quebec City, Quebec, in time for dinner, because she was only 2 and we had to get there and have dinner, get her set, all that stuff. And then the next goal was to get to Fredericton, New Brunswick. And then the third goal was to get to Halifax, to get to the Confederation Bridge so we could cross over to Prince Edward Island. So we had 3 goals along the way to our ultimate destination. Okay, so those are goals. Okay, now you're going to need to form habits, goal achieving habits that are going to move you towards the goal. So very common. Let's say anybody's in sales. Okay. One goal achieving habit you're absolutely going to have to form is what I call calling and contacting habits. Calling and contacting prospects and customers and constantly reaching out and calling and contacting people to generate leads, to generate customers, and generate sales. So that would be a goal achieving habit. So the goal, let's say, is to earn X amount of dollars, in a week, in a month, in a year, in a quarter, whatever you determine.
Yep.
But then I have to form habits that get me to that goal. So if I want to start earning more money, a great habit to form is start getting up earlier in the morning, because it just makes my day that much longer and I'm more productive. The earlier I get up, the more productive that I am. So that would be a habit that leads to the goal. So the first thing you do is you make a list of your wants, all the things you want, all the potential goals, and then you pick one goal. Okay, so I was going to Prince Edward. I couldn't go to Quebec City and Fredericton at the same time. I got to go one, and then the next one, and the next one. So you focus on one goal at a time. So I decided this is where I'm going. Then you go, all right, now what habits do I need to form? What resolutions, what decisions do I need to make that these are the habits that I'm going to form that are going to help me get to the goal much more effectively? Okay, so a resolution is simply a decision. Forming a habit is a decision. Okay, you've got to form discipline. And discipline is the ability to give yourself a command to follow a habit. And you give yourself a command, and then you attempt to keep that. You make that decision and attempt to keep it. You have to do that every single day. Every day, you have to make a decision and attempt to keep it. Every day. You just keep doing it every day. Sometimes you might have to do that 10 times in a day. You
Does
might
it
have to
get
tell
easier?
yourself 10 times a day to do the thing you're wanting to start doing. And you got to, through repetition, you program, this is one of the arts to this, is you program your subconscious mind with a command. Same way when you're little, your parents, Erin, told you to do stuff over and over and over. Today I was trying to get Eden to bring her, she likes to accumulate dishes up in her loft bedroom.
No.
Yeah, well, she's 17, right? I go, Eden, can you bring down the dishes? I'm doing the dishes. I think I called like 5 times. Like, it takes repetition. So that's the difference. Goals, and then you form habits to achieve the goal.
And then add the discipline in there too. I'm like, it's not overwhelming. I understand it. It's a lot of work, but work that I can get behind. You lay it out in an achievable way. It makes me feel like it's small steps and achievable. It's achievable. So thank you.
Yeah, well, but it doesn't have to be a lot of work though. Literally, you can probably prep your mind within about 5 or 10 minutes a day.
That's a challenge.
First thing in the morning, you write out an affirmation. You're affirming, you're already doing what it is you want to start doing. I'm so happy and grateful that when I get up, I wake up and I go to the gym to exercise. Let's say that's it. That's my affirmation. And so I'll write that out a few times in the morning, right? And then at night, I give myself a command. Tomorrow morning, when I get up, the first thing I'm going to do is head to the gym and exercise. And so I'll write that command out a few times at night. Last thing before I go to bed, turn off the lights with that command in my mind. And then in the morning, I get up and I attempt to keep it. And so 5 minutes in the morning, write it out a few times. 5 minutes at night, give yourself a command a few times, and then just attempt to keep the decision. The key thing is don't give yourself a hard time when you don't keep the decision. Just go, I didn't do it today, but I'm going to do it again tomorrow. You don't judge or criticize yourself. You make a game out of it. Just try to build up a streak of one day in a row.
I like that. Make a game out of it, because I was like, oh yeah, the shame storm, the criticism. That's what sets in as soon as I like that.
That's one of the primary reasons people fail is they criticize themselves when they drop the ball. Yeah.
Well, Doug, Laura's actually in the green room if you wanted me to bring her in. She's all set up.
Try her again. All right.
Yeah, let's try it again. Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Erin, for the question.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
All right, here's Laura. Hey, Laura. Can you hear us okay?
Laura? Have I got you?
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you.
All right, good. Okay, Laura, rather than me reading out what you wrote, I could either read out what you wrote, or you can just kind of paraphrase and tell me what you want help with.
Sure. Okay.
Are you going to tell me, or am I going to read?
I can tell you briefly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I have a 24-year-old son that went to the university 3 years ago. I'm telling you, can you hear me?
Yep. Keep going.
And we had a very good relationship. And after he left, he became very distant, like he doesn't care about anything.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't text, he doesn't call. And I used to text him at least once a week just to make sure, he's alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me, you don't have to text so often, to check on me. I said, once a week is not too much. And so to respect him, I stopped. But if I don't text him, he doesn't text.
Right.
And I understand I am not responsible to or for him.
Mm-hmm.
I give him his space. I'm not a helicopter mom or anything. I let him do whatever he wants. But I think he acts like he doesn't care about anyone. When he does text, he'll just ask, how are the dogs? He doesn't ask about anything or anyone. And he goes months without texting.
Right. Okay.
So, and my husband says, there's nothing wrong. He's just a boy. I'm like, yeah, but he acts like this. And then I was watching, I don't know if you are familiar with The Red Table.
The Red Table?
Yeah, it's a show with Will Smith and Jada
Okay.
Smith. They have really deep subjects.
Okay.
And last week they were talking about suicide.
And?
They were saying some signs of people that are depressed, if they become distant, like they don't care, disconnected, like several signs. And I thought, my son checks out every one of those signs.
Okay. So you're worried about him that there's something wrong, and you're concerned about, obviously, the actions he might take or how he's handling things, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I always read between the lines. And I may be way off track here. It seemed to me that what you wrote in, it seems to me that you want him to change. You want him to be communicating with you more. You want him to stay in touch more frequently. You want him to do certain things so you know that he's okay, which in some respects is really about you being okay. Is that fair to say? Did you pick that up?
No, because like I said, I know he's his own man. He's an adult. He's 24 years old,
Right.
but he doesn't seem happy. When I talk to him, like very down,
Mm-hmm.
and I would love for him to be happy, out and about, having fun. He's young. He's a nice guy, a young guy, so he should be having fun.
Right. Yeah.
But he doesn't seem happy. The way he looks, his attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen.
That's what concerns me. And my husband said, he's fine. There's nothing wrong.
Well, listen, I think your intuition is something that you can trust. If you have a feeling there's something to be concerned about, but what I want you to challenge yourself to is make sure that this isn't really about you in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Okay? And so you got to be really honest with yourself. And you got to go, all right, how much of this is about me because I miss him? I want to know that he's okay. I want to make sure he's safe. I want to make sure he's this or that, or he's not this or that. So let me ask you a question. What is it that you want?
Just a minute.
What is it that you want, Laura?
Okay.
What do you want?
For him to look happy. It's really not about me.
Okay, but you want him to be happy. Yes, okay.
To look happy,
To look happy. Okay. Let me
yeah,
ask you another question.
like content.
Okay. What's wrong with him being depressed? What's wrong with him being quiet? What's wrong with him not being happy right now in his life? He's 24. I'm going to bet that he's probably a young soul, not an old soul. He's probably a little less mature than his friends. Is that fair to say? Is he mature for his age or immature for his age?
He's older for his.
He's what?
No, he's very mature. He's a very good guy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well,
Mature.
maybe what's happening is maybe he's finding his own way. Maybe the path that was laid out for him, or the things that, the rules and the values and the different things that, you and your family and the other influencers in your life passed along to him, maybe that doesn't really add up for him. And because he's more mature, he's probably fairly aware. And maybe he's kind of going, yeah, you know what? This just isn't suiting me right now. And so undoubtedly, if that might be true, he probably has a lot of questions. He probably has a lot of doubts. He probably has a lot of worries, because he's been going down this way for so long, but his real authentic self is pulling him this way. And so he maybe feel like he's being pulled apart, and maybe he's pulling away from you because he needs to pull away so he can see where he needs to come back. Listen, I've talked to a lot of people, depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, a lot of people. And what I've come to realize is most people are okay. Okay. I'm not a big proponent of all the awareness that's going on around mental health, anxiety, depression, suicide. Okay. I think it's important we talk about it, but I think there's too much attention being given to it where people are starting to wonder what the hell's wrong with them. Because they watch the Red Table show and they go, oh gosh, maybe I've got anxiety. Maybe I'm depressed. Maybe I'm suicidal. And the more questions that we put out, the more we talk about it, the more doubts it creates for people. I think he's 24. He's trying to find his own way. And you're breaking a couple cardinal rules. Do you know what those cardinal rules are? Do you want to know what they are? Okay. 2 cardinal rules. Number 1, don't give unsolicited advice. Okay. Cardinal rule number 2, don't do anything to try to fix me. Okay. Men don't like to be fixed. We like to go off on our own, and we like to figure it out by ourselves. And if and when we need help, we will come back and we will ask for help. So I think the best thing you can do is just let him go. I'm reading a book right now about a monk, a Tibetan monk who sneaks. He's a very famous monk in Tibet, and he snuck out of the monastery to basically leave everything and go on this journey to find himself. And it's a beautiful story. I think you should let him go. And there's probably one other thing I would do is I would have a conversation like this. What's his name, by the way?
Alex.
Alex, right. Sorry, you brought that in. I say, Alex, honey, I want to have one conversation with you. You don't have to say anything, but I'm just going to ask you to listen. And there's just a few things that are on my heart and my mind. I just want to share with you. And then we don't ever have to talk about it again unless you want to. And I would just tell him, I love you. I care about you. Obviously, as a mom, I can't help myself, but I just want you to be happy. Obviously, I'm observing you. I know you well. So I'm forming my own assumptions and conclusions about where you're at and what's going on. And I apologize for that. I'm sorry. I shouldn't make assumptions. I shouldn't draw conclusions. You're 24 years old. You're a bright, mature young man. And I trust you. And I have confidence in you. And you're wise. And I know you're going to find your way. And I want you to know that no matter what, if you're ever looking for a place to rest while you're finding your way, you can rest here in me. You don't have to tell me anything. I'm not going to ask you any more questions. But I want you to know, no matter what, I'm always here. And I just wanted you to know that. I just wanted to tell you that. And I want you to know that I've got your back. And if I can ever do anything for you, I'm here. But I'm going to leave you alone. And I'll check in with you once in a while. But I'm not going to expect you to call me. I'm not going to expect you to text me. The best way, and this is just a fundamental, the best way to get your kid to come back, the best way to get a male to come back, whether it's your son, your husband, your friend, is to let them go. Okay, it's called the rubber band effect. All right. So he's pulling away and you're holding on to the rubber band and it's stretching and stretching and there's tension. Just let go of the rubber band and let him go and he'll come back. That's what I would do. Now, you might not agree with that. You might not like it, but I'm telling you, that's what you should do. Does that make any sense to you?
Okay.
What do you think of that?
No, that's what I did. I told him, you know what? I had that conversation with him, and I told him, I'm going to listen. I apologize beforehand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be mad, but just listen. And I told him, I'm going to say it, and we'll never talk about it. And I told him exactly what you said.
Yes.
And I told him, I want you to be happy. You don't have to be with me. As long as you're happy, you can do whatever. I'm not going to bother you. You know, we're always here for you. But I agree with you.
When was that?
That was about 2 months ago.
Okay, can I ask you another question? If you really meant it, why are we having this conversation right now?
Because I guess, of course.
Pardon?
Because that's when I started your show last week.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll get a second opinion.
Yeah.
I saw your
you
show.
don't need a second opinion. So I told you what you should do. You already did what I told you to do because you knew what to do. But you're holding on, and this is the selfish part, okay? You're holding on to this because it's for you. You haven't fully let it go like you said you did. Right? And so you are going to have to make that decision every day. Go, no, I'm going to let him go. No, he's okay. And you're going to have to keep affirming to yourself the very thing that you said to him, unless you were lying to him the whole time in that conversation. But I don't believe that you were. I truly believe you were being authentic and telling the truth and you really care. And so you got to walk the talk now. You got to keep your word. Because if you don't, he's going to be looking at you going, well, wait a minute, Mom, like 2 months ago you said this and now you're doing this. Like, he's not going to believe you. This is where we have to step up. And when I said last week about not being responsible for him, you're only responsible to him. You're only responsible to becoming a better version of yourself. That's it. A version that he watches and a version that he observes and a version that when he chooses the one he wants to be within his life, he's got a great model to follow. That would be a really good purpose and a really good goal for you. Shock him. Surprise him. Impress the hell out of him. Just do something that's totally outside what you've been doing. Because I'm telling you, he's staying away because he's going, this isn't really fitting for me. And frankly, he's 24, and so you're done. Your job's done. It's time for you to, you're not a mother anymore. You're an adult parent. You have an adult son. That's it. You're no longer the mother. Mother's Day is over. Okay, no more Mother's Days. That's it. Your mothering is done. You're an adult woman now as it relates to him. Now, just change the nature of the relationship. Change your viewpoint. Change your perception. Your turning point is you need to look in a different direction and look upon this relationship differently than you have up until 2 months ago. That's what I would do. Okay? Okay. I'm sorry the audio didn't work very well there for us, but
That's okay. I got
Right.
got what you
well,
were
listen,
saying.
I admire you for coming on. There was a bunch of comments going through the chat there. There's lots of people that can relate to your situation. I'm going to do a show probably in 2 or 3 weeks. It's all going to be on this kind of a topic on parenting and our kids, because I think a lot of people are going to really benefit from it. So a lot of parents out there are struggling trying to figure out these kids today. All right, thanks, Laura. Tyson, we got about we probably take 1 or 2 more questions, and then it's almost 5:02, and we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I love to take a question quick from the chat. Yeah. So here it is. So what are some habits that we would all benefit from developing ourselves? I love this question because I'm also really interested.
What are some habits, I'm reading here, that we would all benefit from developing ourselves?
Mm-hmm.
I think, well, I'll give you my list, okay? I think a great habit that we should form, number 1, is we should start treating ourselves better. We should do things for ourselves. We should spend money on ourselves. We should talk better to ourselves. We should be impeccable with our words towards ourselves. I think that we should accept ourselves for who we are and where we're at right now. Everything is on time, and everything is happening exactly the way it's supposed to be happening. All right? You are walking a path. Now, you may not get this yet, but that path is already laid out. It's like a path in the forest. It's already there, and you're just walking that path. Now, the path goes in all kinds of different directions, but every path is already laid out. Depends on which path you walk down. And so just remind yourself that everything is on time, and everything is exactly the way it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that can give you some comfort. I think we should make an affirmation that we only live in the now. So I have an affirmation: I live in the now. I do not look backwards on my past with guilt or regret, and I do not worry about my future. I live in the now. So I just keep affirming. I keep practicing living in the moment. So I mean, there's all kinds of, like, there's habits at an intellectual level. So thinking habits, we should be thinking a certain way. There's emotions, there's habits we should form emotionally. Like, number 1 is, I think you should live with the idea of emotional neutrality. Make up your mind, you are going to be emotionally neutral. You don't get excited. You don't really get sad. You don't get angry. You're not too happy. Because if you're really excited, you're going to really be down. You just operate in the middle with emotional neutrality. And then we have physical habits, like things day to day in our life and environment. And I think, like I said earlier to Erin, just take a look at where you are right now. Look around your environment, your life, your results. Decide, make a list of what you want your life to look like in every area. And then look at, okay, in order for me to start living that way, what do I need to do? what are some habits I need to form to get what I want? Not what I should do, not what I need, but this is what I want. And make a list of habits, and then just work on one at a time. So this friend of mine I mentioned earlier, we're talking back and forth. I was giving her instructions. I said, pick one habit to start with. And she wrote me back 3. I go, pick one. She goes, well, the other 2 won't happen if I don't do all 3. I go, that's bullshit. I said, just focus on one. And I talked to her today. I said, listen, just get that one going until you don't have to think about it anymore. It's automatic. It's a habit. It's like getting up in the morning and brushing your teeth. You probably don't have to think about it. When you don't have to think about it anymore, and it's just automatic, then you can add a second one. And once you get the second one going, it might take you 4 weeks. Once that one's going, then add the third one. But just one at a time. One at a time. That's it. And that takes discipline, because we've been programmed, this whole idea, resolutions are bullshit. Make a list of all your resolutions on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, and then get at all of them right away, and you better not fuck it up. That's bullshit. That's why it doesn't work. You're trying to take on too many. You're taking on lousy resolutions, and you're taking on too many resolutions, and you're trying to operate from a place of willpower only, and you're not programming your mind properly. And that's why it doesn't work. I was thinking I should do a call on just how to form habits. We should just do a call on how to form habits. That would be a whole hour right there, you know?
Yeah. It's almost like you're being a bad boss by telling yourself you should be doing all these habits all at once. Imagine your boss tells you to like do all these things all at once. You would cripple almost in a way, right?
I love that. That's such a good analogy. Imagine your boss comes to you every day and goes, Tyson, you should be doing this, and you should be doing that, and you should. You'd be going, screw you, I quit.
Yeah.
You know? Or if you stayed there, then you wouldn't really feel all that good about yourself because you're putting up with so much bullshit. That's a good analogy. Tyson, you're a good protege, buddy.
I just stick close to the sun, which is you. You know, stick close to the sun.
Listen, I think we're gonna wrap up here. We got about 3 minutes. We like to finish on time. So again, if you want to get on the show, you can go to my website. We also email you as well, but you can go to my website and you can. You'll see the turning point there. You can submit a question like Laura did. You're going to just come on the show tonight like you did and just ask a question in the comments, and we'll try to bring you on. And if anything I'm saying to you during these shows is making sense, and you want some help, and you want to work with me, I work with both adults and mentor them. I also mentor them to help mentor their children. So if you want to work with me, you can go to my website. You can find out more information about that. And we're back next Thursday at the same time. I haven't got the topic yet. I was thinking, Tyson, we probably should tell the topic at the end of this show so people know what's coming next week. I got a couple ideas in mind, but
well, for the people that are here, what do you guys want to hear? Maybe there's a potential topic that you guys have been.
Yeah, what do you guys want to hear about? Type it in the chat.
Yeah,
give some feedback while I have some champagne.
Yeah, and I see a few people leaving now for New Year's, but that's okay. But and maybe we should host a poll somewhere on.
We can do a poll, or just we'll later on. You can come back to the comments and type something in.
Yeah.
Let's wrap up. I just want to thank you again for coming on New Year's Eve. I want to do this show regardless of what time of year it was, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Tyson, Erin, and I, and our team, we're going to just continue to try to get better and better at this to bring more value and more good to you. I don't charge people for this. This is free. I just wanted to find a way to help people. And so if we can help you, let us know. Send us a message, leave a comment, write in. We're here to serve you and help you. And so, again, I want to thank you for being here on New Year's Eve. I hope you have a great rest of your New Year's. If you're in Australia, it's already New Year's Day. And wherever you are in the world, take care of yourself, take care of your family. And we'll see you again next Thursday. Thanks, Tyson. Thanks, Erin.
Yeah. Thanks. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Thanks for everyone for coming out. See you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.